from Dallas, Texas. Find us online at photoboothinternational.com.
Hey guys, this is Josh here from Photo Booth International. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Got a special guest here with us, Javar. We met at a networking event recently, last week at the Tower Club, and me and him got to talking, and I was like, hey, we started talking business, and you know, the drinks were flowing, and we just started getting more and more engaged. And I was like, man, we need to do a podcast because we're talking about some valuable stuff here from our experience, and we wanted to bring him on the show and see what he has to offer to you guys. I know he's well-read, and he can give you some nice tips and tricks. And Javar, I'll let you take over and introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Photo Booth International, in this podcast. This is my first podcast.
Yeah.
So
excited, nervous?
Yeah.
Can you hear it in his voice?
Yeah, a little excited. I speak to crowds, and so being that nobody's in front of our face, this shouldn't be too bad. But my name is Javar Avery. A lot of you guys can find me under my motivational site, which is JD Ambition. Do a lot of motivating for really the youth, but also anyone who just wants to be better in life, whether in business or in their personal life. I am originally from Norfolk, Virginia. I was raised there, was born in Ohio, so I'm a Buckeye and a Brown, and eventually my Browns will get their first win, man.
I don't know, man. I don't follow sports.
Hopefully
one of you guys got that.
Yeah, well, right now we're just horrible, so we don't have a win, but eventually we'll get that win. But moved to Virginia, got into entrepreneurship a couple of years ago. Kind of had the itch. Did a couple of things. Had a small janitorial company that didn't work.
You gotta have the one that doesn't
That's
work.
That's right. Tried a number of things.
Cycle at least.
That's
one
right.
time,
and I think I had a couple of things that didn't work, but just kept throwing stuff on the wall. So got into acquiring companies about 3 years ago, and did my first acquisition, which was a coffee sandwich shop, which didn't work as well.
Perfect.
My first
Perfect way to start.
Didn't work. Put some money up. Well, had an investor put money up. Yeah. We tried a new location. That one didn't work as well. So, the journey, but I just didn't stop.
Right.
I just didn't stop on that journey.
If you stopped, where would you be today?
I'll probably be working for somebody 9 to 5.
Clocking in.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to be here right
That's
now.
Right.
You'd have just got off work.
That's right. I wouldn't have been able to be here.
Get off at 6 o'clock. I can't come over there.
That's right. So we took those risks, but inside those risks, me and my wife joke about this all the time. We joke about how we. When we first got into acquiring companies, we wanted to buy a house. Mm-hmm. Well, we decided to sacrifice buying a house and moved into a little studio apartment with our child. We're with our kids, both of them, into this one bedroom kind of efficiency in order to go on this entrepreneur journey. Right. And it didn't work, right? So you sitting there like, man, we could have had our house. We could have did all this, right? But at the end of the day, something greater was in store, right? Something greater. And that's how I got to Dallas, because of what was in store. Right. And moved to Dallas a year ago. I have a minority stake in a toxicology lab. Was flying back and forth once a month. Created a courier operation through the toxicology lab, and the toxicology lab is run by the majority owners and those guys. So I created the courier operation to assist with some issues in delivery, and here we are 3 years later, just kind of in that, running that, kind of trying to grow that somewhat, but also still have the aspiration to acquire companies. So me and a partner started a little, not private equity firm, but a small little company, independent fundless sponsor company to acquire our first deal. So just kind of in the middle of things, but
And then we met.
Steady pushing. Yeah, and then we met, of course.
We're about to do a deal right now.
Yeah, eventually
I know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I told him. I shook his hand. I was like, all right, man, I see you. We're going to do a deal.
Yeah. We're going to get Photo Booth International up to a point where I'm going to acquire it, and then he'll sell off into the sunset.
Galactic. Take it take it into I don't know, somewhere in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And we're already international.
Yeah, that's right.
What's
that's
the
right.
word for that? I can't think of that right now. But anyway, how many failures so far?
Oh, geez. The janitorial company failed.
Okay.
The first coffee shop failed.
Okay.
The second coffee shop failed.
3. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm 3.
Three.
I got 3 tombstones.
3-0.
I'm 0.
3-0.
I'm 0 3. I'm 0
3.
3. I got
Right.
tombstones out there, but what a wonderful lesson.
Right.
Yeah, what a wonderful journey. And there were some tears shed.
Yeah.
I cried, especially after that second location didn't work. I cried because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Right.
You know? But the gods of the universe has a way of blessing the people who risk, has a way of blessing the people who take chances.
Right.
And, you know, that can kind of segue me into a little bit of, you know, getting started in business. You know, like with Photo Booth International, you know. There's probably people listening that want to do this, right? They want to. Like, they like, hey, I really want to do this. And there's some that have the money that want to do this, but why, right? Why don't they do this? So, you know, that's a topic we'll talk about. But anyway, I got those. I got failures, man. I mean, I don't know if you could find one entrepreneur. I mean, you can find them, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you can.
You probably can, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
You're gonna find
the Instagram guy or the WhatsApp.
Yeah. It's just very rare.
We made this happen in my mom's basement, and we got it quiet.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
You know anything about cash flow, buddy?
That's right.
Your cash flow statement.
That's right.
What's your balance sheet looking like? Man. All right, cool. So not giving up. So I got several failures too myself. What was my first business? Mowing lawns.
Yeah.
You know, neighborhood lawnmower. Went and got the weed eater. Got the vacuum and the blower machine.
Sure.
You know, that was the first one. Then started selling grills. You know, grills like in your teeth. Grills, started doing that. That was like probably middle school going to high school. I used to sell them at the barbershop. Sell them all summer. I used to get dropped off at the barbershop at like 12. And then somebody used to come pick me up at 6. I'll be up there all day. Yeah, I had a little stand selling grills. Yeah. You know? And the guy, I'll never forget his name, Eric. He'd be like, man, he used to call me Grilly.
Yeah.
He's like, man, Grilly, you going to own half of downtown one day. He kept saying that to me all summer long, just drilling it into me, you know. And I was like, man, I'll be up there, you know. Didn't make a lot of money.
Sure.
Probably sold a couple of them, you know.
Sure.
And then after that, I think one day some guy came into the barbershop and he brought a trash bag full of Jordans. And I was like, what the hell? Everybody was buying it. So then I was like, okay, I need to start selling that.
Yeah.
So I started a website called comegetfresh.com in high school. This is 2008. E-commerce store. Started importing Nike shoes from China.
Sure.
And by 2009, I got a cease and desist from them, from Nike Corporation, and then they filed a lawsuit against me.
While
I was in high school. It was fake shoes, you know. I was making some money.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I'd be in class, like, have my Jordans, like, hey, man, you want to get a pair? You know, getting kicked out. So, you know, that was my failures.
And I think most people are, one of the reasons they don't start in business, right?
Yeah.
Is because they like, you know, I may fail. Well, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Failure is upon you at some point in your entrepreneur career. I'm telling you that. I mean, it's very hard. You can find that person who hasn't failed, but most of us, you know, for everybody listening, failure is upon you, right? It's like it's like death and taxes. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're gonna die, and you're gonna pay taxes, right? If you decide to take a risk, failure is upon you, right? And especially when you don't have no clue about what really goes on in this industry, or kind of, you know, and you have no real business acumen, but that's how you develop it. That's how you get better.
I didn't have it. Right? I mean, we never went to college, right?
That's
one thing
That's right. I never went to college. I never, you know, I tried to.
What's the highest level of education you got?
High school.
Yeah,
high school was the highest level. High school was it for me, man. Yeah. And it was it wasn't. I wasn't set up in my high school to be an entrepreneur. I was set up in
you
my
were
high
set up to
school
be a robot.
That's right.
You're
to be a robot
for society.
That's right.
That's what you are.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
What
that's
else
right.
you setting up for?
That's
Who
right.
needs school for 12 years and then another 6 years
That's
after
right.
that? I mean,
and I will tell you this. A lot of people ask me. They always say, "Hey, how in the world did you like get into? What do you mean acquiring companies? What do you mean? Like what happened?" And I tell you what. To everyone that's listening, this is so important. Your belief system, right? Whatever you believe in this moment about what you can do,
right?
That is what you're going to do or what you're not going to do, right? I didn't believe that I could acquire a company 7-8 years ago.
Right.
All of a sudden, that belief changed, and I was like, I can do this. Like, I can acquire a company. I can go, raise the capital. I can. And I tell you what, man, I put. If God was standing here right now, he would be able to confirm this.
Right.
I didn't have no knowledge in acquiring a company, right? I just had to go educate myself. I went and got the books. I went and got, and then the people showed up. Like so. The whole point that I'm trying to make right now is that once you put it in motion, right, the universe, the gods of the universe will bring all the right people that you need. All the right people that you need. And business is nothing more than a collection of people. You know what I mean? But the right people. Right. And that's
wrong people will take you down.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wrong
that's
people
right.
will take you down.
That's right.
All right. So speaking of raising capital, so the first thing we want to talk about is somebody who wants to get involved in this business.
Sure.
So they don't have the money. What are some of the things that I hear? I'm not ready. I'm gonna wait till next year. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I need to speak to someone else, get someone else's approval on your dream.
Sure.
Can you imagine
That's
that?
right.
What kind of life is that?
Yeah.
I need to check with my husband or my wife. Oh, let's go. Well, you want to do this thing or not? Are we doing imagine if I had to check to somebody.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I be successful or can I try this? No, that's not going to work.
Sure.
So come on. So what do you got?
Getting started. I can't remember who said this. I got to go find it. But I was listening to somebody, one of those motivational things, and it talked about the people who are the someday owl people.
Yeah,
right.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard that. Was that Brian Tracy?
That's Brian Tracy. Yeah.
Someday owl, right?
Someday owl.
Someday owl, and they never get going,
right?
And they never get started, right? Because there's always an excuse, right? And the biggest excuse, to be honest with you, is money, right? Money, or I don't have the time, right? Or like you say, let me go talk to my husband, which I'm not saying don't go talk to your husband because we'll get some people in trouble.
I'm saying don't talk to them. It's $7,000 to get started. I mean, what's the deal?
They go on.
You go drop $25,000 on a car. Someone emailed me the other day. Oh, I just bought a new car. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, I hear you. A car that depreciates, right, over time. As soon as you need a lot, right? Yeah. So I get that theory. But you got money, right? So there's all these excuses of not to get started, right?
Yeah.
And then, the question is, give me a reason to get started, right? Give me your reason to get started. And a lot of them don't have that, right?
Yeah.
And all they can think of is the reasons to not get started. But if you look at the reasons to not start, all they are resources, right? They're not like you got both of your feet, you got both of your eyes, you got both of your ears to hear, you got your mouth to talk, you got a brain to think, right? So those would be the excuses I want to hear, right? I want to hear, hey man, I'm brain dead. He can't do nothing. He's brain dead. Hey, I don't have the eyes.
You can't do nothing.
Physically should be the only reason you should not be getting a photo booth. It would be only physical.
Lift it.
There you go.
We got a lighter booth for you. Don't
worry. That's right. But everything else is just you're scared, right? You got that fear, right?
So
there's a fear,
belief, right?
Yeah, and that's just because your fear of failure, your fear of hey, I'm gonna spend this money and but you're gonna spend that money anyway. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Right? I had to learn that. Like, you're gonna spend that money anyway.
McDonald's.
There you go. If I went through
Starbucks,
me and my wife, we got so budgeted when we went on this entrepreneur journey because I was like, we got to get tight.
How much were you spending on coffee?
Yeah. Well, exactly. When I looked at the budget, we probably was almost $1,000 a year or so, maybe a little more in coffee. Right. Going to Starbucks twice a day. Right. okay,
That's
so
actually on the low end, man.
yeah, because we're not that
Yeah.
into it,
But the average American,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you take that, and I always tell people, I say, look, you don't have the money. I guarantee you that you got the money.
Right.
Let me see your bank account.
Right.
Let me see your bank statement, and let me show you
how
that
much
you
you
got
spent
the
on
money.
food. Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Now, you talk about these are all resources, right? So, okay. This is where we become impatient, right? This is where the impatient process comes. So if I showed you right now, if I took your bank statement, you say, hey, I want to get one of these photo booths. And you say, hey, the photo booth is $3,000.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Well, it's six. It's
Okay,
six.
six. All right, six. So the photo booth is $6,000, right? Now I went to your bank statement and I found $6,000 worth of miscellaneous items that you spent in a year.
Car wash.
Yeah, just
Give me
miscellaneous,
some
right?
ideas, just so people can go back and do that.
Okay, so like for instance, like the coffee, right?
Okay,
the coffee shop, cigarettes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge one, right?
That's a huge one. My dad smokes. Yeah, I know.
If you're a guy getting your hair cut,
Yeah.
guess what, man? These are sacrifices I had to make. So I went to my barber. I got really deep into my budget, and I went and I said, how much am I spending on my haircut?
Yeah.
And my haircut was costing me almost $100 a month.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what, $1,200 a year, right? So I went there to my barber and I said, hey.
So we got 1,000 at Starbucks.
That's right. That's right. That's
We're gonna
right.
sell you a boot
You
tonight.
gonna sell
We're gonna get him a boot tonight.
So,
All right.
no, I went to my barber and I said, hey, look, man. Hey, check this out, man. I got to start cutting my own hair. You got some clippers.
Right.
And my barber looked at me and he was just like, man, I just commend you, man. And I took that risk to cut my hair. And guess what? I was going to say the wrong word. I messed it up. I jacked it up a couple of times.
Right.
And guess what? That was 3 years ago. And today, I cut my own hair.
Cut your own hair.
Because I started figuring out how to do it. Now, I'll never be an expert at it.
Let me ask you this. How much time are you saving not having to go to the barber
Oh,
shop?
my God.
And let's put a price on that time. So right now I'm at $2,200, $1,000 for Starbucks, and then $1,200 for your haircut.
Man.
And how much
so,
time are you saving?
Dude, I used to be in a barbershop.
At least minimum, worst case, 1 hour, right?
Worst case.
best case.
Best case, 1 hour.
Best case, 1 hour.
Right.
Okay.
So you got to think, you got a whole
hours.
hour. You can almost spend 2 hours. Nowadays in the barbershop, you can be in there for 2 hours, man.
Yeah, right.
Barber talk too much.
Right.
You could be in there 2 hours.
Especially if there's a game.
Yeah. So the time is saving. Like, dude, I can go home tonight.
You got 4 hours every month. Just showed up. Just
there you
like
go.
that, at least.
There you go. See what I mean? So now, see now you see what we get into. So now we're not only talking about the money.
Right.
We're talking about the time that I
So now we just created $2,200 plus 4 hours more that you can use every month
there you
to
go.
build your business.
To build your business. There you go.
Wow.
There you
Out
go.
of nothing.
There you go. Out of nothing, right? This is out of me going through my budget,
Right.
going through my bank statement,
Right.
and deciding what I need to cut out,
Right.
what I need to give up. And the reason most people won't get a photo booth is not because of the lack of money. It's not because, it's simply because they don't want to give up nothing.
Right.
They don't want to.
Sacrifice.
That's right. They're like, nope, I got to have 180 gigs on this phone. Hey man, do you you see what I'm saying? Instead of calling Verizon and say, "Hey, can I get? Will this take the bill down by $40 a month?"
Yeah.
Okay, you add that $40 times 12. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what me and my wife did. That's how you begin to, and you may not be able to buy it today, but if you took that model.
But we take payment plans though.
See, there you go.
You put $100 down and just make payments on
There
it.
you go.
It'll get you there.
There you go.
Flexible.
And so then you have, that's a way to
Right.
create the money, right? That's how
Now you got time and you got money.
Now you got time and you got money, right? It just
keep
depends
getting
on
better
what
and
you
better.
want to give up, right? That's all this really. It just really boils down to that, man. It's really it's no like secret
Right.
formula, right? It's no secret sauce, right? It's about what are you willing to give up
Right.
to get to, your end goal. And guess what? When you give it up, you won't even realize it's gone.
Right.
Like you don't even. I haven't been to a barbershop in 3 years,
Right.
and I feel like I do it good enough to.
Right.
I'm wearing a hat now,
Right.
but usually you saw me without a hat.
Right.
It looked fine.
Yeah,
There's
it looked
nothing
fine,
wrong.
yeah.
Nobody, and I've been so. Not only
We're
am I
not in
still.
high school anymore.
That's right.
We're
Well,
not-
that's right. So not only am I saving that
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
but I'm still saving that time.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
The time.
So that's kind of that. And then there's things like, people have to learn how to get creative. Okay, say even if you went through that whole process of your budget, you still find it. You know what? I just don't. There's nothing there. Okay, how can you begin to get creative?
Right.
to raise the funds. Like, we talked about, hey, is there a way you really want to do this? Is there a way to start just talking to customers before, who says you have to have the booth to secure a deal? Right. You see what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
And I know you could share something on that, but
Well, what we're talking about, what he's referring to is that whenever we first started, we booked our first gig. The event date for the event was December 6th. And so that was 2012 that we had started. And we booked it in October. I remember I met with a lady. She gave me the check. I still got the check in my office out at the house. She paid a deposit. That was a $500 gig. And so we knew we wanted to do this. We got the gig. We put an ad up on Craigslist, right? Free.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. That's right.
10 minutes to make the ad. Got the call. Set up a Google Voice, free, right? Got the call, closed the deal over the phone. The lady wanted to meet up. Found a contract online, right? Made some changes to it, right? Once again, still at zero cost. Just one idea, I'm still at zero cost, right?
That's right.
Go meet up with her and get the deposit, $250 deposit, I think she gave. And then we used that money to build a booth. And then we built the booth by Thanksgiving that year. So that was November 22nd, whatever, 23rd. And then then we did the gig December 6th, and she paid us the balance.
Wow.
So amazing. No idea, no money.
That's
got
right.
the $250.
That's right.
Got the supplies. We may have put in, about $1,000 each. It was me and a business partner at that time. Plus we used the money that we got from there. And we got started. We used an old screen that I had lying around, not touch screen.
Sure.
Had an extra keyboard. Everybody got a keyboard lying around. Had an inkjet printer.
Sure. Sure.
From Walmart, and we did that. I don't recommend doing that now because you can't. The people have higher standards now for photo booths. Back then they didn't have anything to compare it to. But now it's a little bit more high end stuff that they're going to be expecting, or you get a bad review and stuff.
Sure.
So that's how we started. December 6th did it, and that's
Well, and the reason why that story is so key because it gets into, getting creative a little bit, and how you begin to maybe find the money, right, or how you begin to. It's just a resource. Get creative enough to find the resource, right?
Yeah.
You look at us in acquiring companies. Our whole theory is we just need to find the deal, right? We'll the money's all around us. Right. See, everybody that wants to get a photo booth, the money is all around them, right? They haven't opened their eyes or and seen or get creative enough to know that the money exists. It's not a lack of money,
right?
It's a lack of what are you willing to give up. It's a lack of your drive. It's a lack of your ambition. It's not a lack of money. The money's all around you,
right?
And guess what? You're gonna probably hear no more than yes, but that's the persistence.
Right.
I call here's what people need, right? So people need, and we'll get into something else, but I don't know if you watched The Founder, about McDonald's. Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I always tell people, I said, you need what's called the Ray Kroc theory. And everybody say, what's that? And I said, his whole thing was persistence.
Right.
That's all he was about.
Right.
There was nothing. He wasn't a genius.
Right.
He wasn't the smartest guy in the world. He had no idea how to run a burger joint.
Right.
He didn't know. He was selling milkshakes, right? But it's persistence, right? His persistence. So everybody that's listening to this and everybody that think it's a lack of money or it's usually a lack of persistence. Right. It's a lack of you knocking on the doors. It's a lack of you talking to people about it. It's a lack of you, because the more people you talk about it, the more doors you knock on. Somebody, it's like it's like the law of averages, right? Somebody in that, is going to say, hey, okay, let me hear what you got.
Right.
Hey, so.
And how's that pitch going to go if you go there and tell them, hey, I already got 2 bookings. I need to get a photo booth.
That's right. That's right.
I should have done that, to be honest.
I'll invest. Right? I'm like, you already got customers?
Yeah.
You already got customers, so,
I already got 2 bookings.
That's right. That's right.
I should have done that. Yeah, I went the easier way.
Yeah, so.
But back then I didn't know nobody. Now I know a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too. I mean, starting a business, the doors that it opens, the people that you get to meet. I mean, we would have never met had you know,
that's
had
right.
been working for somebody.
That's right. That's right.
Clocking
that's
in
right.
and clocking out.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, I think that was our first section that we had, right?
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
what is our next thing that we had?
We was going to just talk about kind of, you know, what to do.
Yeah.
You know, how do you even know what to do?
Yeah.
And then kind of talk about some of the keys when you finally have that business. Now,
Right.
you know, you've bought a photo booth. Now you've, you know, started this company. What are some of the keys in there? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, we can kind of end it there.
Yeah, sure. So we want to talk about the 5 things. Are we there yet?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay, all right. So I'll let you take over then.
So, the only thing what I really want to talk about, we've talked about why people don't start, right? Now let's talk about what to do. Like, what should I start, right?
Yeah.
I know we got the photo booth, international, all that stuff, but, you know, people get conflicted about okay, I hear what you're saying, right? And I get it, and I'm inspired, and I'm motivated now.
Right.
But what should I do, right?
You got to pick up the phone. It's 855-474-6868. Ask for Josh.
You can do that. You can definitely do that. And
there's
you
nothing
should.
else. What else can you put the 6,000 into and get these type of returns?
No, you're right. You're right. But you know what I'm talking about more on in an entrepreneur sense is yes, call Josh. He will get you right. Right. You're gonna get some phenomenal service. You're gonna get a phenomenal product, and you can make some money. Right. But to just people who are just listening sidebar, right? They're on sidebar and they're like, I'm just listening because I want to be inspired or whatever. How do you know what to do? You know, how do you know whether it's to bake cookies for a living? How do you know whether it's to take photos for a living? Right? I believe a lot of businesses don't work not because the individual didn't have or didn't possess the attributes to run that company or be great in that business, but it just simply wasn't a business that was for them. Right.
Got it. Like I wouldn't go open a nail shop.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Right? So when somebody's asking, okay, so what is that business? And I remember Tony Robbins talking about the push-pull method, right? And what he said was, you know, whatever you're doing where you have to push yourself to do, you exert a certain amount of energy, right? And that energy at some point dies, right? And then you find yourself back at square one. Because you don't no longer have the energy because you had to push yourself to get to this. But the pull method is where whatever you're doing pulls you in. It's kind of like a conveyor belt. It just pulls you. It doesn't require any effort. So guess what? When you're doing it, it doesn't feel like work. I remember you asking me a question about Tarnhelm. You said, hey, how do you stay afloat? How do you sustain this thing? You're not making no money right now. You know, how do you stay motivated? Because buying companies pulls me in, right? It doesn't require no effort for me to go pick up a book on it or to go have a meeting about it or to sit with somebody and talk to them about it. So when people say, okay, so what do I do? Does baking pull you in? Hey, check this out. So these cell phones, we are taking photos with these cell phones every day. Does taking photos pull you in? Like it doesn't require effort for you to go in and filter. Well, guess what? You probably need to come get in this photo booth business. You see what I'm saying? Think about think about your everyday life and find out what pulls me in. What is it that doesn't require a whole lot of effort for me to do? And that's how you can begin to say, well, okay, it is taking photos. I love taking photos. Man, I don't want to be a photographer, but I like to. You see what I mean? But it pulls me in to have the ability to take photos. Okay.
And I don't think it necessarily means that you have to have a passion, because I actually put the survey up to our customers about a week ago and asked them what made you buy the photo booth, and most of them actually picked to create additional income. To fund whatever else it is.
Sure.
You can use this as a stepping stone.
That's true.
Let's say if you do want to open up a bakery, right? You love baking. Okay, bakery is going to cost you $150, $200 to get started. Right? You can use this business to get you to where you need to be.
Sure.
It's an instrument to use,
Easy. And the thing about this business is, you probably got some weekday work, but you probably get a lot of weekend work, and then you make enough money to where you can now begin to work on a side project and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're right. So some businesses are businesses that just kind of are, they're more of a side thing, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes some people can just, like you say, use this. Hey, it could be a side thing to create some additional revenue. Mm-hmm. I got a buddy that got into the dropship business, right? And he does well, but it's just a side thing to generate some revenue for while he tries to focus on something else. So it's so you're right. You don't necessarily have to be passionate about photos.
But ultimately, whatever you end up doing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
This is not this type of business is. You can be in here for a long term play, 5 to 10 years. But ultimately, it's a transition for a lot of people. They get in, you make your money, and then invest in real estate or do whatever else that people want to do, or you just keep it, because you can still.
And let's not discount that. Who says you can be a million? 2 million.
Yeah, I made over $1 million.
You see what I mean? Yeah, who says you can't be that? Who says you can't? Right. So just taking photos, that's just a matter of.
That's not going away, right?
Right.
Nobody's right. The wedding's gonna stop.
Nope. There'll be plenty of weddings. There'll be plenty of So it just comes down to does that and guess what? You might buy it and then it pulls you in.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
My theory was just. I found what really pulled me in. Right. So you might
But you went through those. You started in the janitorial.
That's right. That's right. I went through those things. So you
didn't just wake up and boom.
No, I didn't. That's right. So you could get a photo booth, and then all of a sudden it just pulls you in. Like, man, it takes me no effort to make these sales calls to to go set this thing up. It doesn't feel like work.
Happy, taking pictures.
That's right. That's right.
Special
That's
moments.
right. Yeah. And it just doesn't feel like work.
Right. It's not. It's not like laying bricks.
Yeah.
I was watching a guy lay bricks the other day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Do that,
So that's kind of my take on that. But so then we could talk about real quick, and then we could wrap this thing up. We could talk about now you got the business, right? So now you've bought the photo booth, right? Now you've started whatever company you want to start, right? There's a great book out there called Kiss the Theory Goodbye. Mm-hmm. And I recommend that everybody, and you got a photo booth, whether you got whatever you got, I recommend getting this book, because this book talks about, and it's simple, and it's not in all that business jargon, right? But it's simple enough for everybody to understand the 5 keys to profitability in any company, whether you're running a $200 company or whether you're running a $2 million company. These same 5 keys kind of float.
Right.
They kind of operate in each business. And the first one was superior leadership. You see, one of the things that I learned about business is that running a company is one thing. Being a leader is a whole nother animal, right? So having a superior leader in there, taking control, making things happen. I mean, think about the class that that we both sat in. That was almost the part of the class when we talked about leadership where I was like, man, I'm starting to understand that there's just a total difference, right? You could be a CEO and run a company, but are you a leader in that company?
Right.
So they talked about, number 1, being superior leadership, right? Number 2, sales effectiveness, right? How you gonna get the money in the door, right? You can have this photo booth, but if it's just sitting over there collecting dust, what was the point of the photo booth? So sales effectiveness, getting a business in the door. How you gonna do that, right? How you gonna go market? What are you gonna do, right? The third thing was operational efficiency. I don't care what you're doing. Every business has operations. Even your photo booth, your one little photo booth. Yes, it does, and you need to be operationally efficient when it comes to running that business, that one little photo booth, right? So whatever the operations are they efficient, right? To take care of that customer. The fourth thing was financial management. Do you have the right CPAs? Do you have the people who's your books? How do things look? Are you keeping? Is your balance sheet, whatever. If you got all that, I don't know if you need, but
no, you need it. You got it.
is all that structure, is your finances managed
you don't
correctly?
know whether you're making money or not.
There you go.
Right.
And then the fifth thing was customer service, just customer service, man. Being having good customer service skills, qualities, taking care of a customer satisfaction.
Right.
So that book is just phenomenal, and then it breaks down, inside. Yeah, it breaks more stuff down, but those are kind of the 5 keys, and I can take those into any company. My advisors, some of my advisors run 20, 30, 40 million dollar companies. They've taken those keys inside of their company. So why wouldn't we, take those keys in our company? Yeah. So, it's just kind of a great book there.
What other books do you recommend?
Oh man,
I know we had a list. Let me look at that.
Dude,
My phone is recording.
Yeah, no, you're okay. So we got Bob Prost. I think it's Prostin or Propston. I can't. Sorry if I butchered his name, but the 5. Kiss the Theory Goodbye.
Conscious Capitalism.
Conscious Capitalism is amazing.
Yeah. Kiss the Theory Goodbye.
You would love Conscious Capitalism. What the CEO wants you to know. Yeah. Ram Charan out of Harvard, great book. He kind of talks about. He helps you. We look at those top business guys who's running like Chrysler and Gillette, and we like, what do they know that we don't know?
Right.
Well, in that book, he's like, here's what they know, and it's simple stuff. Right. It's not like this major stuff, and that's why entrepreneurship, I encourage it so much, because people sitting on the sidelines think you have to be these experts. They think you have to be like this, this business god or whatever, man. These guys, dude, Steve Jobs, man. Steve Jobs, this iPhone I got in my hand. Steve Jobs don't even know, he don't even know how to put this together.
Right.
He don't even know, he probably know what's inside of it, but he doesn't know. But when Steve Wozniak asked Steve Jobs, what do you do? What do you do?
Right.
Steve said, I'm like the conductor at an orchestra.
Okay.
I find the best drummer, and I put him over there. I find the best saxophone player, and I put him over there. Steve didn't know how this was manufactured. Steve didn't know none of that stuff, right? That's inspiring to me, because I'm like, man, here I am thinking you got to have like all this. No, the real leaders know how to bring the right people to the table.
It's the people.
It's the people, man. It's all the people. But what the CEO wants you to know kind of breaks down the nucleus of every business.
Right.
Every business is the same from the inside. It really is. They got the same principles. Now, their business model and all that stuff might be different, but the nucleus, cash generation, margin, velocity, all that stuff is inside of every company. And that book teaches that. And that book is just all about advancing your business acumen. So as you talk to people, as you grow, so I just I got tons of them, man. But those ones,
I'll put a little list up in the show notes.
Yeah, but those ones are some good ones to start with.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thanks, man. That was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
It's been a pleasure. And
so where can they find you online?
So everybody can find me at jdambition.com. That's my motivational site. Instagram, Facebook. You just Google JD Ambition. JD Ambition. Yep, you will be able to find me. They can go take the driving ambition assessment on my website if they would like. So it's just fun. I love business. Love talking about it. I don't mind sharing. If you emailed me, if you whatever, I don't mind.
Awesome.
And get you a photo booth.
Get started in the business. Call me. It's Josh here at Photo Booth International. We got some Thanksgiving specials going on. This will probably go live before that. So give us a call here or check us out online, photoboothint.com. And thanks for tuning in today. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat. Yeah, we're on Snapchat now too.
Yeah,
got to be on all platforms.
That's right.
Baby.
That's right.
Let us know where you're listening in from. Love to hear from you guys. Call us 855-474-6868. Love to help you get started. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.